On April 15, 1912, the Titanic slipped beneath the Atlantic. But what if it hadn't? What if the lookout had spotted the iceberg just seconds earlier, and the ship they called Unsinkable had sailed into New York on a calm spring morning? In our timeline, the Titanic struck an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. Within 3 hours, the ship was gone. More than 1,500 people died. But what if the iceberg had been spotted earlier? What if the ship had turned in time? The collision that changed history almost didn't happen. The difference is just 30 seconds. Lookout Frederick Fleet sees the iceberg sooner. The helm turns harder. The massive hull scrapes past the ice with a terrible grinding sound, but it does not open. Passengers wake, frightened, then relieved. The ship continues on. On April 17, 1912, the Titanic arrives in New York Harbor. Newspapers celebrate the triumph of engineering. White Star Line claims victory over nature. The world's richest man, John Jacob Astor, steps onto American soil. His survival will reshape politics, business, and society for decades. Many who died on the Titanic were people who would have changed the world. Millionaire businessman Isidor Straus. Railroad heir Harry Elkins Widener. Countless immigrants with children who never grew up. In this timeline, they live. Their children inherit fortunes. Their companies expand. Their votes and donations shift elections. Astor was one of the wealthiest Americans who ever lived. Had he survived, his fortune and influence would have grown for another 20 or 30 years. His investments in real estate, railroads, and politics would have shaped the Roaring Twenties. American wealth concentration might have become even more extreme. The Titanic disaster shocked the world into reform. Lifeboats became mandatory. Shipping lanes were monitored, and the International Ice Patrol was created. Without the sinking, these reforms are delayed. Ocean liners keep racing across the Atlantic, overloaded and underprotected, until an even worse disaster forces change. Without the shadow of disaster, luxury ocean liners dominate travel even longer. The Titanic's sister ships, Olympic and Britannic, become legendary symbols of comfort and speed. Air travel still arrives, but more slowly. The great liners rule the Atlantic until at least the 1950s. When World War I begins, the Titanic and other liners are converted to troop ships or hospital ships. The Britannic, in our timeline, sank after hitting a mine. Without the Titanic disaster raising safety awareness, wartime shipping losses may be even higher. Thousands more sailors and soldiers never come home. The Titanic sinking became one of the most powerful myths of the modern age. Books, films, and songs turned it into a symbol of hubris and class division. Without the tragedy, that mythology never exists. A different disaster, perhaps a wartime sinking, takes its place in the public imagination. The disaster redistributed enormous wealth through insurance payouts, inheritances, and bankruptcies. Without it, Astor's fortune and the fortunes of other first-class victims keep compounding. By the 1920s, a small circle of Titanic survivors controls an even larger slice of the American economy. Ironically, the Titanic's survival might mean a deadlier future. Shipping companies learn slower. Crews train less. The ocean remains dangerous. When the inevitable disaster finally comes, perhaps in the 1920s or 1930s, the death toll is even higher because no one believed it could happen. The Titanic taught the world that hubris has a price. Without the sinking, that lesson is delayed. Sometimes a tragedy is what forces progress. A safe arrival in New York might have felt like a victory, but it could have cost even more lives in the long run. The Titanic disaster was a defining moment of the 20th century. It reshaped safety, wealth, and culture. Imagining the ship survive helps us see how much one night at sea changed everything. History is not just made by victories. Sometimes it is made by the moments we wish had ended differently.